Hello lovelies, Charlie Haynes from South Australia. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm in my 9th year now. I've just finished making this fun mini album. I think it's about 8 pages and I made it for an Instagram hop with a beautiful talented design team called the Fab Insta Hop group, and I'm going to show you just a real quick little what's inside. Excuse me. So there's the front cover, obviously, as you've seen. I'm going to show you in a minute all the stamp sets and everything I've used, so we'll just go through what this album looks like. So I'm calling this page, that page 1 and this page 2. And there's a little pop-up mechanism there, so the little skeleton jumps out at you in the little graveyard. And this is page 3, and it's another, just a following on with the graveyard with the same designer series paper, and it's inside a tombstone. There's a mummy, just to be extra creepy. And then we've got page 4, this one here, which is a cute little pumpkin patch. They've got their little hats on. And then there's 2 fun little tags that come out, because this is a little pocket in there. And so that's your display. This actually has a little tag, a little ribbon, and it lifts up. And there you have a cute or spooky looking gravesite, as you can see. So it's got all the gravestones, all the tombstones, and some skeletons. So this project was based on your favourite Halloween movie, which I couldn't find one that worked with the stamp sets I had. So I remember watching Pet Sematary, which I didn't really enjoy. It was pretty gross, but because the stamp sets I had animal stamps and dies, I thought that was an appropriate one to use for this project. Excuse me. This is just a flat one because my project was getting very chunky. It was getting a bit full and wasn't closing, so I thought I had to stop doing so many 3Ds. But I did manage to turn it into a pocket and have 2 tags that come out. And then, so what are we at? Page 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're on to page 5. This is magnetic. As you can notice, there's a few magnets in here. So you could turn that into a photo. I have got a Halloween party coming up, so I might even sneak some fun Halloween photos in here. And you could put photos on both sides of that, and that just sticks on there. There's also a, I think that tag's inside, because this opens. Yeah, it tags inside. And I've got designer series paper and a little tag in the pocket. And then on this side, it's another little look at the at a cemetery with a little dog die there. So that's magnetized. And then this is the last page, and it's magnetized again, and we've got this gorgeous scene with the ghosts. So, and I've hand colored this and added a bit of water to give the little starry speckle effects, and you can see the stars and a few little ghosts that are embossed, and these have been die cut. The houses have been embossed in black. I don't know if you can see if they're shiny. And some pumpkins and a fence. So that's closes up with the magnet, and then it all just rolls on itself. And then that you saw earlier is the back page, which you could have more on there, but I think because it'll be sitting down, you could have a message on there, or just what I've done, a little bit of decoration with some pumpkins in the bottom. Now, fun. It took me, I'd say, a whole day. I did it in 2 half days. So if you're organised, you could get it all done in a day, or if you're quicker than me, you could probably get it done faster. I'll show you what I used to make this. The colours I used was basic white, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, basic black. They are the colours that coordinate with the Designer Series paper, or DSP, which is called Them Bones, and it's a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and you can see there's the gravestones, tombstones. You get, as you can see, you get 2 lots on one sheet. It's excellent paper. It's wonderful. It's good fun. And really great colours, really great patterns. I love this blue. I didn't use this tombstone, but I did use this side. And there's a few others, but it's all cut up. It's all cut up in here, so I'm not going to pull it all out because it's a bit messy. The other things I used to make this was the inks. There's Versamark, because I did a lot of embossing. And so for the embossing, I used black embossing powder and white embossing powder. I used black Memento ink, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Starry Sky, or because that's the colour of the designer paper, and basic grey for inking around some edges. And also your trusty, this is not obviously not this one, but your trusty blending brushes, or daubers, or sponge, whatever works for you. The stamp sets, I use Tricks and Treats, which does come with Tricks and Treats dies. The letter boo, the word boo, this little haunted house. There's the little ghost. What else did I use on that one? I think that's it. And Pick of the Patch, another one. These are in the current mini catalogue at the moment. Pick of the Patch, and I pretty much used all these pumpkins and that little pumpkin stem and this cute cheeky little bird, and don't think I used the sentiments. And this comes with a punch, so it punches out 2 sizes and a leaf and the stem. The third, I only used 3 sets from the current mini catalogue. Bag of Bones, I think this is my favourite. And look at all the dies you get in there. It's incredible. So there's your gorgeous fence. There's your tombstone. There's your skeleton, your cat, your dog, all the little bone limbs. There's hats. There's grass. Stars and moon, I didn't use that. There's boots. Oh, I forgot about that hat. I knew there was another hat. I didn't use it because I couldn't find it because there's so many dies there. And some really great sentiments. I used this sentiment and that one. And there's the stamps for the animals and the skeleton. So, oh, it's a flower. I couldn't work out what that die was. Okay, so that was that. I also used the TaylorMade tags to make my tags. And for this, where's the edge? For this edge here, I used this crinkle cut, and that's from the Basic Borders. This is a great set to have because you've got your clouds, you've got your mountains, you've got jaggers. It's great. Okay, so that's all the current stuff. Some's from the mini, some's from the annual catalogue. The non-current things I used, so this is, you may have this in your stash, you may not. I used Spectacular Bash because I wanted open if you dare. And that matches the dies, if I can find them. Can I find them? I don't know where the dies are. I don't know what I've done with them. Is that them? No, I don't know. There are dies that match this, and I did use them. I also used, oh, here's the dies. Now I found it. There's the dies. So I use this one here for that. And you can see it's quite detailed. And it probably doesn't match everything else because everything else is sort of a bit plainer, but I didn't care. I love it. I love, love, love it. So that's what that was for. I didn't actually use Frightfully Cute, but I think I definitely know I used the cobweb, the spider web, this tree. So that's the tree. And you may have seen the spider web here. It's from this die. And there's a cute little owl. And where's the owl? I remember using him somewhere. Here, there he is. So the reason I used the owl is a last minute thing. There's a magnet under there. And I needed something just to cover the magnet so it can close. Because if the paper gets too thick, it won't close. Oh, and also the witch's hat, which is absolutely adorable. Here you are. There it is. Gorgeous. I don't know if you can see the contrast of that. I think I did it here. There's a better one. So that was that. So I hang on to all my Halloween stuff because I love it. And I used the cookie cutter Halloween. That's quite an old one. You can tell because it's got the green up the top. The newer stamp sets have the black. And I used this cute mummy. And if you wanted to see where I put the mummy, he was where was the mummy? Oh, here on this page. In here, there's the mummy. Because I wanted to put something in under the tombstone. I thought, oh well, there's a body. Okay, so, and that comes with a punch as well, which is also the gingerbread punch. So I keep all my punches and a lot of my all of my Halloween. I think, and I used Spooky Fun, because you might have some of these, I don't know. And I used this cobweb here. And I used that I used it here, in these two places. And I've used it on a tag there. I used it on that tag. And to get that really solid black, I used the embossing powder. So that's all the products. It's a lot there. So you can obviously compromise and use whatever you have or can get your hands on. This giant bat, that's a triple bat punch. Again, another retired one. These little bats, they are with the current stamp set. Dies, let's find them. They are actually in the bag of bones. There's a lot in there. And it'll cut 3 out at once. Okay, so let's get to it. I'll show you how, I'm not going to show you how to make the whole thing, but I'm going to show you how I started it. So the main thing you'll probably be itching to know is what I used. Now, I used black, but I'm going to show you a white template because it's easier to follow. You need 2 pieces to make the actual album. And they're both 5 inches wide, so they're identical, 5 inches wide. The first piece you want to cut is 8 3/4 along. Now I cut this from a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock because this piece has to be 12 inches long, and our paper isn't that long, A4 paper. So your first piece is 8 3/4 by 5. Your second piece is 12 inches, the whole width by 5. Okay, and then I'll get the scorer and I'll show you. We've got, we'll start with this is the cover. So this is the 8 3/4 by 5, and we score it at 4 inches. And I apologise, I haven't worked it out in centimetres today, and 4 3/4 of an inch. So it's quite a wide gap. Okay, if you fold that, you'll see you get a perfect cover. Okay. Then the second piece is 12 by 5. And I did a boo-boo. I scored it in the wrong spot, so ignore that one. We want to look at these two. So I scored it at 4 again. and then 4 3/8. Okay, and then this one, and then along I scored it at 8 3/8 and 8 7/8. And what you'll find is these two pieces are the same. This one's smaller. You can see even by looking at it, maybe not, that they're not all the same. They're not all symmetrical. So keep that in mind because it's quite important for the next step. So find your smallest square, and if you're not sure, measure it. I'll give you the measurements. So your smallest rectangle, should be 3 1/8, because the other two are 4 and 4. 4 inches, 4 inches, 3 1/8. So it's quite significantly, it's nearly an inch shorter. Okay, that's the one you want. And what you want to do is get your cover. I'm not going to glue it because this is my template, but you'll want to put glue or double-sided tape all over that piece, that whole 3 1/8 inch piece, and find your cover, open it. That's your front page, that's the inside of the front page, that's the next page. That's where you want to glue this 3 inch bit. Okay, so you've got that big square, small square, glue on this, line it up and stick it down. So when it's done, you'll have that little gap. You'll see it, doesn't matter because we're going to cover it later. And then you'll have all these pieces, and forget the 2 score lines because one's a mistake. So you'll basically have that, and so that'll be joined up. Okay, and that'll fold in there, it'll fold in there, whoopsie, and then that's the cover, that'll fold in there, and it'll all sit, when it's glued properly, it'll all sit snugly. Okay, so it will, once it's all glued, it'll just keep unwinding itself. So you'll have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 basic pages, and what you do to them is totally up to you. I'll go through this again and show you what I did. I'm not going to give you measurements on all this because really it's not that hard, and I just went in 1/8 of an inch to mat each one. So I stuck, because my background was black, I stuck with Cajon Craze because that seemed to be coordinating better with all the designer paper. And I just cut enough squares or rectangles, if you like, to match each square each rectangle we're doing. So you can see the front cover, that's one of them. I think it works out, because these are 5 by 4. I think that's what these squares are, because we know that's 4 inches across and that's 5 inches up. So you just cut these, or whatever matting you want to do. Instead of 4, it's 3 7/8, and instead of 5, it's 4 7/8. Okay, and that's all you do. Cut it, cut it, cut it. So there's one for that page, one for this page, one for this page, and so on. And then, for example, on this one, I cut a smaller piece, the same colour, and I just had a little bit of a tag, about 1/2 inch, and stuck it underneath this. So it's actually stuck under there. So then it just fits over, okay? So that's that's a really good way to add extension to your work. There's magnets in there, that's why it's holding so nicely. And for this one example, I cut myself, you can see I've still did the base, but I've cut myself a piece that opens up like that. And again, smaller again, I did it in the black, and then I folded it in half. I added a little ribbon tag so people know to lift it, stuck that between the layers, and then I added my graveyard pop-up. Again, magnet. That's why there's a funny bird there, because there's a magnet under him, and there's a bat, and there's a magnet under him. That's why it holds itself. Okay, you can repeat that. I haven't. You could do them all like that. I haven't. This one, I've done the base in the Cajon Craze. Then I've added a second piece. I take that back. I didn't do a base in that. I cut the base with an extra bit. So it's almost like cutting two bases and then scoring it and folding it. And then I use that line, that edge, the border edge, to give it a jagged edge so you can see it is opening and closing. And again, a magnet there and a magnet here. And so that became a little mini book, sort of, so to speak. That's designer series paper, stuck on more designer series paper with a tag. I used to make this pocket, I just used double-sided tape, and I just put it there, there, and there. And so you've got a pocket, it's easy. This side obviously is, I've just decorated it with the designer paper and some other little embellishments. Look how crooked I got that fence. I just noticed. So again, that just holds itself down. On the front, you could just decorate that. I wanted to add a bit of fun here, and you could put photos on that and leave it. I was going to leave this plain, but it looked very plain. So if I did put a photo on that, I'd probably pull this off unless the photo was small. And that's just cute. And there's two magnets in there to hold that in place. And then this piece, this page here, again, I actually did cut a base in the Cajon, but then I just stuck this over the top, so that's double work. So probably don't have to do that. Just measure. You basically want double, the same height but double width for your paper. So you're basically cutting this square twice, but scoring it, finding the middle and scoring it down the middle, and then you've got your little mechanism like a wardrobe or doors. And then you can just measure in again some designer paper on the inside, on the outside. And this is just basic white that I coloured and then flicked some water on it. I did some embossing on the white first before I coloured it, so they popped up, and cut the houses out 3 times, and they're sort of mounted up on each other with some dimensionals. The magnets are under this pumpkin and this pumpkin. There's also a magnet here and under the tree, but that wasn't strong enough because I made it all a bit chunky, so I had to add more magnets to that side. And there's a magnet up here and one under this house, so that's stronger because it's closer. And there's another magnet here and this pumpkin, so it's really holding it firm. The magnets I used were these, and you can get them on Amazon, you can get them on eBay. These probably aren't my dream magnets. I normally get wider and thinner. That's why I've used them up in this mini album. On a really big special album, I would get wider ones and thinner ones. But these worked okay because they're a little bit chunky. You do see, eventually you will see marks on your paper. So you do want thinner. How thick are these? This is the $1 million question. They look like I don't think I can get them any thinner. That is 0.1 of a centimetre. That's just, you can't get thinner than that. It will just snap. Okay, inch-wise, I think oh, I could guess and say it's 1/8 of an inch wide. So I don't think you can actually get them flatter and thinner, but I would definitely get them wider and they'll be a bit stronger. So thickness, I mean, diameter, these are about, well, that's 1/2 an inch. So it would be 5/8 of an inch. No, I'm not working out my inches. A quarter of an inch. So if you can get them, I think I always order them in centimeters. So in centimeters, that's about 6 centimeters. Sounds like a lot, but sometimes you can get them maybe 8 centimeters and they're a bit wider and a bit flatter. Anyway, they work for me. They're strong, and I keep them stuck to my metal trolley over there so I don't lose them. What you don't want to be using are these. These are just too chunky, too big, too chunky. Save them for something else. They're not going to work. Anyway, so the magnets are a definite yes for stuff like this, to hold it and make it and feel nice and professional. This was just a flat page with designer paper, 3 layers of designer paper, and so that's what it looked like. And I added some embellishments just to dress it up because I wanted to keep it interesting. I also only put double-sided tape 3 sides, and then I could turn it into a little tag holder, a little pocket, which is cute. I can also add more if I wanted to, but it was getting pretty chunky. The resting piece, this little piece, I think it's one of my favourites. That's designer series paper. This is the same designer series paper, but I've cut it, and I don't know if you can see, I've cut out the tombstone again, but I've also cut a little tag. Now, if you're clever, you could actually stick it underneath, but it would stick over that. So it really sort of had to just drift into nothing, and that's about half an inch across that way. I probably should have put it up a bit higher because it's not lining up with the grass, or trimmed it off a bit more. But this again has a magnet. The inside, how I made, because otherwise you'll get the other side of the paper here, but I wanted to look like it's inside the tomb. So this is basic grey, and I've used this dye here. And I've just inked the edges with basic grey, just to give it a bit of aging. And obviously, if you don't have the mummy, you could put the skeleton in there. You could put anything in there. So, and it says rest in peace jack-o'-lantern, so I had to add some of them, the pumpkins. And I added a little hat on top. Now, the trick to making these pumpkins look really, really 3D is I stamped them on pumpkin pie, and it's pumpkin pie cardstock. I stamped them with pumpkin pie, and then I used Cajon Craze with a blending brush just to add the little edges, just to make them look a little bit more aged. The stamp set does have a little wicked face, so I didn't emboss them. I actually used Memento Black, but if you wanted to make them really pop out, you could emboss them with the embossing powder. Anyway, I think I've pretty much covered the basics. You can see the ideas I've used. I'm sorry I haven't made a tutorial. The reason I haven't made a tutorial is because I'm not going to make this again. I'm going to make something different. So I don't want to remake this again. I don't need 2 of these. This is the smaller tombstone. I'll just go back to that. That's this tombstone here, which also is designed to sit obviously on top of that. So that's these 2 pieces here. These 2 pieces here are this and this, and that's basic grey and that's soft smoky slate. So I've done 2 smoky slates in this, and then a big basic grey in that. And the boo is from the other current stamp is Tricks and Treats. There's the boo comes in there, the die, which I love. So I think I've covered it all. There's the grass as well that you get in the Bones stamp set, die set. And I hope that's helped you if you wanted to make one. I'm happy to answer questions, but like I said, I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to make it specifically because I do not plan on doing this again. If I do make another one in a different type, different theme, I'll definitely try and do it from scratch. But it's very hard when you make your very first one and you don't want to make it again. But thank you for watching. I hope I've helped you. And if you do make something, please share. I'd love to see it. Okay, thank you so much. And if you are watching, I do have a Halloween party coming up. It's on this month, end of October. It is on the 29th of October. This is one of the projects we will be making in the class. It's a little pocket. I've actually got some delicious chocolate. I had to try it out and it was so good. I ate it all and I had to buy more. So this is how good. I'm saving this for you guys who are coming. We will be making this project when you do come. It is adorable. I've gone more on the softer colours, but it's so much fun, and there's some Stella on there. Anyway, so that's what we'll be making at my Halloween party at the Maples in South Australia. It's a 4-hour class. We're going to be making some fun things, playing some games, and also then we'll have a sit down in the dining room, which is already decked out 3 weeks ahead. We've got beautiful menu planned, and all, you know, you'll have to wait and see because it's very exciting what we're going to be eating. It's edible. It just doesn't probably look edible. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much. And if you have not, please subscribe to my channel. It does help me out. And definitely comments and let me know what you think and if it's been beneficial watching. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.